Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside Tiger Football. Mark Frie alongside the head coach, David Alexander. Today, we're going to be taking a look back at the big matchup against the Jenks Trojans and then look ahead to 2 road games in a row to Edmond, America. But we'll start, Coach, with a recap of a tough game against the Jenks Trojans. You came in, it was a home game.
Right.
Really, what was on the line was inside track to the district championship. Right. We came out on the wrong side of the score.
Yeah, we did.
What did you see that night?
Well, I saw an older, experienced team. They only made one mistake on the night, and the younger, less experienced team, Broken Arrow, we made 5 critical errors, and you add those up, and we're on the short end of 4 critical errors, and that's what we got beat by.
Yeah, and you started the game, had a great drive. To start, and you go up, and then it seemed like from that point on, Jenks really took over.
Well, they did, but most of it was self-inflicted wounds by a team that it was the first time in a while they'd been in kind of real conflict, a little adversity.
Yeah.
Things were happening fast, and some critical errors were made. And Jenks, being the great team they are, took advantage of our mistakes. And once we got behind, our kids just, okay, now what do we do? And we hadn't been in that situation in a long time, and Jenks came out ahead of us at the end of the game.
All right, well, let's get to the highlights. It was a great night for football, and again, as I said,
beautiful. Sure wish that would have gone out of bounds, just inside the pylon. Jamal Shaw, what a great drive. He had a great evening. He did. He's had 8 great evenings. Woo! But the young man just has got giant heart, and to go along with his fantastic ability.
Well, he lowers the boom.
He did.
There.
That was great, wasn't it? Isn't that awesome? Again, falling forward. And here, what a fantastic run. We've seen this several times out of him right there at the 3 or 4 yard line. Someone's going to give him a big hit, but he is not going to be designed to get in the end zone.
Boy, what a great run.
Yeah, what a great one. What a great way to start the game.
And here we have the superintendent view, Dr. Mendenhall.
Over the shoulder.
I mean, he's got to remember to stay behind those plays in case.
Now, Dr. Mendenhall's a big guy. I think he can take care of himself.
I don't want to get him rolled up and get an ankle.
Jenks only runs 1 return, double wedge, worked on it all week, and they were able to get a little crease. Thank gosh we got a great athlete back there kicking the football in Cantrell to make a great tackle. Here we come out of the box playing real well on defense as well. We get them into a long yardage situation here, but they're too close to punt and too far away to try to kick a field goal. So actually, unfortunately for us, they go for it on 4th down. You see right there, not much of a pass interference, but the right hand on the receiver's hip causes the flag and give them, that's an extra possession.
Right.
We were off the field right there. It's 4th down, and we give them possession, and a great team, Jenks, takes advantage of it. With Jamal get behind his pads, 190-pound tailback. He had a really good night. I think I would adopt Jamal Shaw Alexander.
Sounds good.
It does sound good. I don't think
better to adopt him than like Rowdy, because Rowdy, the food bill, that food bill would go way up.
I don't think Jamal's parents, Derek and Anita, would appreciate me trying to take their son. But what I mean by that is just a great character kid, and kid you love to have in your locker room. Good leader.
So into the first quarter, it's all tied up 7-7. There were a couple of key plays defensively, a couple of pass interference plays that really gave the Trojans that extra possession that you talked about.
Yeah, those are turnovers. Those 4th down penalties or those pass interference penalties, those are turnovers.
Yeah.
It's just like if they would have punted right there and we'd have fumbled the punt. It's the same thing. And if you look at the stat sheet, Jenks has got 13 possessions, Broken Arrow with 11 or 10. You're not going to be able to win a football game like that. And critical errors have been the theme against Jenks and Union.
One thing that was awesome is those unis. The uniforms were pretty cool.
Man, the uniforms were fantastic. The kids were so excited to see them. We broke them out. They're beautiful. We probably will put them in the box for a while,
Yeah.
and until we maybe see fit, maybe next year, or maybe playoffs. We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes.
Well, the unis on the athletes look great. Some of the color choices on the coaches, I'm just going to leave it there.
You could see us from the moon.
Yeah,
See us from
think
the
so.
moon. It was not a flattering look for Coach Alexander. Some of the younger, more fit coaches, it was a fine look.
Yeah.
Coach Alexander, not so much.
Well, I'm just going to leave it there, Coach.
I appreciate that.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
Let's get back now to second quarter highlights.
And they, Jenks did a good job mixing up their stuff. I think they played 4 tailbacks, keeping them fresh. Oh no, not the ground level view of barely a pass interference call, but all the corner has to do right there is turn his head around. The ball's underthrown. If the defensive back turns his head around, the receiver's not going to have any chance to make that play. But here's basically their second possession without us ever touching the football, and your defense gets tired when they go on basically 2 7-play drives in a row. It's tough to overcome. Here we put Holiday back at quarterback and a little wildcat stuff. I think if he stays in Jamal Shaw's outside pocket, he might have enough room to the 15 or 20 yards. And you mentioned Rowdy a minute ago. He played very well. Put him at right tackle to match up against their big defensive tackle. They call him T. His name's Tyler Thomas, and Rowdy played a fantastic ball game. Here, 2 plays in a row. They're going to run. Jenks going to run the same play. They're going to go unbalanced and run outside zone. And we're seeing the red hat here. This is the Cox communications guy trying to call timeout for the TV timeout.
Yeah, Jenks ran 2 plays while we call him TV timeout. Timmy is what we like to call him.
Oh, really?
And Timmy was still on the field.
Here's an uncharacteristic. That was an uncharacteristic play by our secondary. We've been so disciplined in the secondary all year. There you had a mix-up in calls and assignments. 2 guys covering one guy uncovered. That was completely uncharacteristic of how we played all season. It's tough. Right there. If Gilmore would just hit his back foot and throw it, man, we had Gage Kaiser wide open running down the hash marks. They blitz. So if they blitz, you've got to hit your back foot and throw it and take the hit. But again, it's a young kid growing up, and he hadn't seen the adversity himself in a long time. We've had great protection. Jenks had the right call the right call for the blitz. We had an uncovered guy running free down the field. Hopefully, we'll use that as a learning experience as well.
And as you said, was that more of a fit, or was that an assignment error, or was that just
Well, the guy that's blitzing, all right, is supposed to be his assignment's either blitz or cover our tight end. Well, he blitzes, so our tight end's uncovered. The quarterback's just got to realize that's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, if this guy blitzes, we have an uncovered receiver. Instead of seeing the blitz and trying to duck under it and hopefully escape, if he just hits his back foot right there and throws it, we want to have a chance for a big play.
All right. Well, Tigers go into the halftime locker room down 21-7, and we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we will watch the highlights of the rest of the big matchup between Broken Arrow and Jenks. Right back after this.
It's no secret that Oklahoma schools have their challenges. We all want to help our schools excel, and TTCU has a great way to get involved. Right now, when you open a TTCU checking account with a School Pride Visa check card, you'll get $50, and so will your school. Each time you swipe, they donate. So far, they've given nearly $500,000 to local schools. Together, we can make a real difference for our kids. Cash for you and your school? Check at TTCU.
All right, back on Inside Tiger Football with head coach David Alexander. We're looking at the highlights of the Jenks Broken Arrow game, and we're going to get right back to second half highlights. And there's a Collins fathead in the jungle.
The guy was eating. That was good. Feeding Matt Collins. I liked it. All right, need to start the second half off a little better than this. Starting off on defense, and the defense had a rough night and trying to get off the field, giving them penalties and giving them things. And the same thing happens here. We just give them too many plays. Coach Klink will he took the blame for that last touchdown. He didn't feel like he'd given the defense the best chance with the defensive call he made, and he apologized to the staff and he apologized to the team. I told him he didn't need to do that because everybody's working their tail off,
Yeah.
but he wanted to put his guys in a better position. I appreciate him saying that. Here, we try to get a little extra gap, so we run the quarterback, and Gilmore doing a good job getting some plays. And here, again, same thing. Okay, you're going to see here in a minute where this is going to happen to the broken air quarterback. And we got guys free because they're blitzing, and we got to just let that ball go right there. And either throw it out of bounds or maybe hopefully get the completion. Can't take a sack there on third down. That guy right there, number 1, he just played against us last night. We played our JV game last night. Number 1 for Jenks played tailback in the JV game. He was their third tailback that went in against us on Friday night. Good football player.
Still getting playing time in the JV.
Yeah, playing time in the JV game. Can't leave our feet to tackle these guys that are really good. You got to stay on your feet and run. Here's a great play by Brady Jones. He's and here, right there's the play I'm talking about by their quarterback. Blitz coming, and kind of knows where the receiver's at and just kind of chunks it up. Great play there by Cody Harris. And here, come on, referee. That's a call you don't make, man.
He was on a streak
route.
Right.
That's a call you don't make. No referee. It's the only referee in Oklahoma would probably make that call. And of course, he's calling our game. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating because there again, it's another possession for another team. We've got the ball. Now we've got to give it back. Devin Johnson, big hit. Yeah, nice hit, nice tackle. I'd like to see that football pop out of there because his helmet was right on the ball. It'd been great to get a turnover.
So again, you're fighting uphill, and there's some calls that just don't go your way, and the safety was a big one.
Yeah.
And it just seems like all night long you guys were kind of.
Yeah, we gave, and I don't want to complain about the referees because the referees actually did a really good job, except for I've got the argument with one call, and you play a whole football game, and you're going to complain about one call, you're probably going to be okay.
Right.
But we gave Jenks more possessions, and you're not going to beat Jenks if they have the ball 3 more times than you do, and that's a lesson. That's a very, very hard lesson. I'm glad it happened in week 8, and hopefully we've got time to learn from it. We're a team that's not built to play from behind, so we have to play very efficiently. We have to outnumber Jenks with possessions. We've got to create turnovers, and we have to have 2 more possessions than they get, and it just didn't happen Friday night.
Yeah. All right, back to fourth quarter we go.
Again, number 1, I don't know his name because he's not, and they're too deep, but. A good football player. Gage Kaiser with pressure, and Devin Johnson on the coverage. Gage Kaiser's been a beast.
Yeah, he has.
He's a young man. He's a 3-sport guy here at Broken Arrow. We're the biggest school in the state, and he wrestles, he plays baseball, and he's one of our best football players. That's a great credit to him and his family and his work ethic, because it's tough to not have any time off. Proud of that kid. Good job by the defense standing up there after giving up a couple plays, standing up making them kick a field goal. I'm waiting for a big return out of Devin. Devin right here, he's just such a good football player. He thinks he can make all 11 guys miss, and he's just got to trust his blocking and hit it up in there. We put big Scotty Gilkey in the game, give him a couple carries, a little quarterback run to let him start. And
what a catch there.
Yeah, what a great catch by Holiday. Ball's a little underthrown, slipped out of his hands a little bit, but there's a receiver going and making a play for his quarterback, and you've got to have that. Not only that, but you get the penalty. Good run by Scotty. He's a big dude. That's a great thing for him. The little quarterback run game, it's not something he'd ever done very much of.
But and then you give somebody who has done a little bit of running.
Warren Leak has done this, and again,
Warren Leak,
what a man!
Yeah, he gets to the edge, and
we've had on the football team, we've had 2 student of the months already
Yeah.
Devin Johnson is the reigning student of the month for Broken Arrow, and Warren Leake's been the student of the month. That says a great thing about some great character kids, because their students, their peer students and their teachers are voting them for that, and that's a great deal. I'm proud of that. The Cruz Missile, Devin Cruz, man.
I love to watch him run when he gets in.
He's just got some toughness about him, some moxie. He's obviously not as fast as Warren or as big and as strong as Jamal, but a smart kid. His intelligence gets him on the football field, and his toughness helps him get yards like that. He's a great kid.
Well, tough loss, but really, Coach, as you look at the rest of the season, everything is still right in front of you.
Sure. None of our goals are – the only goal that's gone is the chance to win the district championship, and that would have been a great stepping stone.
Right.
But everything's still in front of us. Everything we want to do, we can accomplish. We get better every week. We're learning some hard lessons, but, that's what young kids have to do.
Yeah, well, we'll finish the season 2 back-to-back trips to Edmond. We'll talk about the first matchup in a little bit, and then take care of that, and then we have a home playoff game. And
that's right.
Win that, and you're in the state semis.
That's it. You're in the semifinals, and that's all you can ask for, man. Give us a chance.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk a little bit later about the big matchup this week against Edmond Santa Fe, and when we come back, we're going to get to know Coach Tim Holt back after this.
At St. John, you're not the patient in 201. You're a 7-month survivor. You're not the heart attack victim on the 4th floor. You're hero to Ava, Charlie, and Caleb. You're more than a diagnosis or database entry. You're the reason we exist. Our entire staff is committed to making you stronger. It's why Telson's, for 85 years and counting, choose the health family of St. John.
Back on Inside Tiger Football, and it's time to get to know another Broken Arrow football coach. This week, it's Tim Holt.
Something I've kind of always wanted to do. I grew up a coach's son. My dad's a coach, and it was just kind of a calling, I guess. It was something that was just pretty much understood as I was growing up, and really, getting into college. I played football in college, and I didn't really know if that's what I was wanting to do. And as my college career kind of, got closer to the end, I was like, I got to be around this, and pretty much decided I got to be a coach. I actually deep snapped in college. I played wide receiver and deep snapped in college, so that was part of my scholarship was, being a 200-pound deep snapper in college.
That probably has some moments of no fun.
Yeah, it was a little stressful at times. It's a fun job. You're not restricted to a textbook or anything like that, so you get to come in every day and create fun things to do for the kids and have a great time, and and they love it. And with the way technology is nowadays, they come in and they really are fluent on the computers too, and it makes my job really, really easy. I actually went to 3 high schools. I grew up in Sapulpa through 6th grade. Like I said, my dad was a coach, and he was at a point in his career where he was becoming a coordinator and then becoming a head coach. So there was a period of time right there within about 8 or 10 years where he got 2 or 3 different jobs. And so we ended up moving from Sapulpa, where he was an assistant, and then he was the defensive coordinator at Noble, Oklahoma. And we were there from my 7th grade year until my junior year in high school, or sophomore year in high school. And then the coach from Sapulpa that was still there called and said, "Would you come work for me again?" And so we did, and we moved back. And sure enough, I moved back my junior year, and the coach that was at Sapulpa retires, and my dad ended up going and trying to turn the program around at Kellyville. And so I went with him, and they ended up getting that turned around really good over there. Socially, really. I mean, you have to take. You can't pick and choose, where you go. So, I mean, you got to take what's given to you, and really it helps socially, and you meet new people all the time, and I think that's really helped me in my professional career as far as, meeting new people and being able to work with different kinds of people. Oh, huge. I mean, I get a new student probably every month at Oliver, and I always kind of take them under my wing a little bit and make sure they know where they're going and everything, because I went through that 3 times, and it always helps to have somebody in your corner early on until you get your feet wet a little bit. I played for a guy in college. His name was Keith Baxter, down at Southeastern Oklahoma State in Durant. And he brought in a motto with him. We were his first freshman class, his first recruiting class, and he was real big into. He's a big time helper with FCA and stuff, and he still is today. And he always did something that stuck with us, and it was from 2 Timothy 4:7, and he called it "Fight, Finish, Faith." And we had "Fight, Finish, Faith," painted all over everything in the locker room and on the field. And I've fought the good fight, I've finished the race, and I've kept the faith. And that's something that really stuck with me, and I've also shared it with the kids before too. And I find myself sometimes when things in my life get difficult, or even out here on the football field or in the classroom, you always find yourself saying, fight the fight, or finish the race, or have faith in everything that you're doing. And that's something that's kind of helped me through my career, and on the field, off the field, and in the classroom. Well, it was funny. The first ultrasound we went to, we walk in the doctor's office, and they prep her and everything, and pull up the picture on the monitor, and the doctor's rubbing the thing on her stomach, and he just kind of freezes and looks at us and goes, "You have 2." And I think both of our mouths just hit the floor. I mean, it was a pretty fun deal. Yes, because we are done. Yep, boy, girl, done. We talked about this not too long ago. We'd love to go to Europe, and we'd like to see Rome and the Colosseum and stuff like that, and that's something we've always wanted to do. Gonna have to wait a little while now. I wrestled my whole life, from kindergarten all the way through high school, and got some cauliflower in my ears, so I can just kind of twist them in and make them stay, and then on command I can kind of get them to pop out like that. It's kind of crazy.
That's a David Letterman stupid.
Yes, it is. I can shoot things out of it and everything. I just was kind of fooling around one day, just messing with my ear, and I just kind of twisted it, and it stuck there, and it kind of scared me a little bit, and it was kind of a fun trick. Good icebreaker.
So, Coach Holt has a very important job. Special teams a huge thing.
It is a huge deal. He's coordinating all our special teams. Now he recruits some help from the coaching staff in different phases. Coach Craver helps with the kickoff team and such. We all pitch in and do our job. But Tim has to work all weekend coordinating the punt, all of them, and then putting together fakes and then preventing fakes, and he's got a big job. And you're dealing with more than 11 kids,
right,
or just one position. You're dealing with more than just receivers. You're dealing with the whole roster. I let him pick whoever he wants. There's starters on all the special teams. So I let him put the best kids on every team.
Well, and that's so important the deeper you go. I mean, so
that's right.
Great job for Coach Holt.
It is. He does a great job. Really proud of him. He's been at Broken Arrow now. I think this is his 5th year. He comes from a small school background. He's been at Kellyville. He was up at Barnesdall. His longtime coaching family. His dad's down at coaching at Catoosa. So he's a teacher, great coach, good man.
Glad to have him a part of the Tiger family. We're going to take a final break, and as we go to break, hope you enjoy this week's installment of Friday Night Sights.
My Contour helps me discover all new sides to myself, like it knows I'm into sci-fi and personally recommends new things I didn't know existed, like intergalactic biohumanoid sci-fi,
lovable ogre sci-fi,
and whatever this is. I just look for the diamonds, and suddenly,
I'm into whole new worlds of entertainment. That's why
Contour is TV just for me.
For the many sides of you, there's Contour.
Welcome back, folks, and now it's time to take a look at this week's matchup, a Thursday night edition, the third Thursday night edition
Yay.
of the season, as we travel up the turnpike to Edmond to take on Edmond Santa Fe. And Coach, Edmond Santa Fe coming off a big win for them against Putnam City. Their tailback does it all, had over 200 yards, all-purpose yards.
You know, we saw them at the team camp over in Mustang, and he is a great player. Tall, lean, but he's a slasher and he's fearless. We will have our hands full tackling that young man. But, you know, they're not a one-man team.
Right.
Their quarterback, a junior, he's committed to Louisville. He's got great mechanics, great pocket awareness. We will have our hands full Friday night with the Wolves. We're going to have to be really sharp defensively. They're a lot different than most West Side teams. It seems like over there, all the West Side teams put their best players on offense.
Right.
You know, really, they let their tailback and quarterback run the show, and then they put most of their best players on defense. Honestly, they've got a great front seven, man. Their front four on defense, the defensive line. They've got two huge linebackers. So defensively, we're going to tackle the tailback, keep the quarterback in the pocket. He's not going to really. They don't have many designed runs for him, and we're going to have to block that front seven. We've got our hands full.
Well, it should be a good matchup, and like we said earlier, the Tigers take care of business both weeks in Edmond, and they'll secure a second place in the district, which will give you that home playoff game.
Give us a first-round home playoff game. Only 3 rounds in the playoffs this year, so the home playoff game is going to be big because we'll get somebody from the west side of the state. So let them have that 2.5-hour drive over here to play us.
Exactly, and if you want to catch the game live and you're driving around Edmond and you're like, where's the high school stadium? There isn't one. The game is at the University of Central Oklahoma. Wantland Stadium is where we'll be for 2 weeks. I may just take a cot and stay for the week.
It's not a bad plan.
I think it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
But I can find some food along the way.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple nice places in Edmond to eat.
Well, we look forward to bringing you all the highlights next week. And if you can't make it over to Edmond, there's so many different ways that you can follow the Tigers. It's almost it's just ridiculous how many ways you can follow and see what Coach is wearing that night. You can log on to arrowvision.tv and follow the live game cast. You can hear the game call on 97.1 The Sports Animal. And you can also follow along on the game with CBS Game Tracker. And so any way you want to follow, you can follow.
You can. You get us on TV, radio, computer.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Smoke signal, whatever we got.
And I'll promise the shirt I'll wear this week will be a little toned down from last week.
Good, because that was pretty bright. Yeah. Hey, just a reminder also, Coach and I are at Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers every Tuesday night from 6 to 7 o'clock. We would love for you to come in and say hi to the coach. The first person that does, I'll buy your dinner.
Boom.
No one has said hi to you all year, really. They're afraid of you, but it's because you're eating so much.
Right, there's shrapnel. There's chicken shrapnel going everywhere.
Shrapnel and sauce everywhere. But, Coach, look forward to getting a big win Thursday night.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk about it next week. Want to thank our sponsors for all their help in making this show possible. Cox Communications, St. John of Broken Arrow, TTCU, the Credit Union, First National Bank of Broken Arrow, the Arrow Group, and Bank of Oklahoma. We also want to thank our Friday night production crew and the studio crew. For Coach David Alexander, I'm Mark Frie. Thanks for watching, everyone.